Welcome back to the Peter Silverman Show. If you've got a problem, we need to talk. Call 416-872-1010. Star Talk. It's a free call on Bell Mobility. Or toll free 1-800-561-CFRB.
Welcome back to the Silverman Show. We're talking about condominiums with Maria Dimakas, a condominium lawyer. And one of the issues that has come up here is maintenance. And the brutality that it can inflict upon the residents.
That's right. It's unfortunate, but building maintenance and building repairs should be one of the things boards of directors need to keep in mind at all times. Maintaining the quality of the site is important. It keeps property values steady. It also avoids the inevitable, and the inevitable is where you come to a point in time, you run out of money, and you have to fix something. It's easy and it's interesting, and certainly it's appealing to all owners when you don't have to raise their monthly common expenses. However, the side effects of doing so can be disastrous later on.
You were saying that there was a building out there that is straddled now with $10 million in repairs. That's
right, $10 million worth of repairs. It came up about a year and a half ago. That building is under an administratorship right now, but it was hit with various city work orders, and the cost to actually implement the work that the city required, as well as some other building maintenance issues, amounted to about $10 million. And the condo had to go to the owners.
And where do the owners get that money?
Well, sometimes they take out additional financing onto their units. In other cases, those who are able to pay it. There are perhaps some things that condo boards can do to help alleviate some of the financial stress on owners. That's having a payment plan in place so that people can pay it either in one shot or over a period of time. In other cases, there is a combination of a special assessment plus a loan, which certainly does. It's not appealing for any unit owner trying to sell their unit, and certainly it's not attractive on any status certificate.
So the motto is you either pay now or you pay a lot more later.
Exactly. And you might as well pay now. You might as well pay now. Yeah.
When you get down to that, you raise the whole issue of the boards of directors.
Absolutely.
And this is becoming a major issue, I gather. It's more and more scrutiny as to who gets on the board, what their mandate is, what power they have, and the fact that the owners have an awful lot of, shall we say, secondary power to get those board members out of there if they feel that they're not doing things right.
That's
or
right.
Whatever.
That's right. And owners need to be aware of who they select to the board. Board members need to be aware of what their mandate is. And their mandate is to ensure that they manage the affairs of the condominium, not to necessarily the interests of one particular group of owners, but for the community as a whole. And they have to ensure that they do their due diligence right throughout their term. And owners who do not see that directors are fulfilling that mandate do have the right to remove those directors from the board. There's a procedure in place, but they have that ability to do so.
But you can get a proactive board of directors who wants to go ahead and maintain and says there has to be a special assessment and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And then the owners can just turn around and say, well, we don't want to pay it. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. The irony is that boards that do live up to that mandate and do carry out their due diligence to ensure maintenance and repairs take place when they have to, unfortunately, when there's a money crunch and they're forced to go to their ownership for more funds, the irony is that owners don't want that. They don't want to pay more, and who does? And in some cases, what happens is that owners remove these directors prematurely before any repairs can get done, and you find yourself in the cycle of pay now or pay later yet again. Okay.
We have Sam from North York. You have a question, Sam.
Yes, I do. Good morning.
Good morning.
Trees in the common element require the attention of an arborist. Can the cost come out of the reserve fund, or is it day-to-day maintenance?
Well, it depends on what cost you're spending or what type of service you're spending on the trees. If it's simply landscaping, that's typically an operating cost. If it's a maintenance or repair of the common element of which the trees do form a part, then it may come out of the reserve fund depending on the type of work you're carrying out.
Some of the trees are diseased, but they can be saved by chemical attention.
It's possible that it may come out of the reserve fund. It depends, again, on the nature of the repair that you're carrying out. If it's a major repair or replacement, then the reserve funds are allocated for that purpose. If it's strictly a maintenance issue, then it comes out of the operating.
By maintenance, do you mean things like pruning?
Yes, that's right. Things like like upkeep, general upkeep.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Which raises the whole question about the reserve fund and how much should be in the reserve fund and that whole issue.
That's right. Well, reserve funds are there as they're mandated by the Condominium Act. Reserve funds are created by engineers, and they set out a 30-year funding plan for the costs and timing for major repairs and replacements of the common elements. And directors are and should be bound to follow that reserve fund plan to ensure that there is enough money in the reserve when time comes to actually carry out maintenance and repairs.
Well, hopefully it is. And at that moment, we are now going to a commercial break.